Let's talk about this one. I mean, not too good story coming from Kenya. I mean, we heard a story that a pharmacist actually, talked about how they get access to EPO. I mean, they've got the license to actually import some drugs under EPO. Then they bring it to China, then to Kenya. They're not supposed to sell it, unless the person buying or the patient buying is having a kind of doctor's prescription. But right now, the confession was the fact that he has sold this to some athletes in Kenya, and the anti-doping agency in that country is saying that, look, they're trying as much as possible to kind of curb this one. So it's really it's really something that we shouldn't worry so much about, because they've set up
no, we should worry, actually. We should worry
because machinery in place to ensure that they nail it.
Yeah, I mean, so far, so good. Every time you hear about Kenya, I mean, like growing up, we hear about Kenya, you hear about the exploits in long distance. But these days now, you hear about Kenya, you hear about anti-doping rule violations.
It's crazy.
So it's starting to mar their image and to smear their image and all that. So they need to do a lot, to remove the doubts, because once fans start to have the doubts, about how you race and stuff like that, then it's not a good thing. And that's the work that the Kenyan authorities have to do now to ensure that doping issues are not associated with Kenya. And that's we'll see how it goes eventually. I mean, all these big competitions are coming really close. There's the World Championship, there's the Olympics next year as well too. If they don't put their house in order, it's only a matter of time before we start, hearing pronouncements of perhaps bans for Kenyan athletes.
Absolutely, and it's really not looking good. But let's listen to the Kenyan Anti-Doping Agency director talking about this particular incident.
And our target for this year, which we are almost achieving, is 1,500. As by last week, we had done 1,200 tests. So we are going towards reaching our target of 1,500. So that means we've been able to do much more tests, which is an assurance even to our competitors outside there. In terms of ethics, we want to expose them to know that it's wrong to cheat, that it is good to compete. Even if you don't win, it's still fair. You've allowed the person who is stronger than you to win without using anything, any method or any substance to be able to overtake him and win when you are actually cheating. So we don't have any documented case as at now where our staff have been accused directly of bribery or corruption. We have sensitization workshops ourselves, even in our boardroom here. We invite officers from the anti-corruption, ethics and anti-corruption agency to come and sensitize our staff. We need to do more tests, we need to do more education, and we need to get less of the positive cases that we have. Because the issue is we have done sufficient on the ground, but we still have problems with athletes who are competing outside there.
Okay, athletes outside the shores of the country are the ones they really need money to now, because it says sometimes even if they had to do so much at home, what about those outside the shores of the country?
Yeah, it's all part of their job. They need to work harder.
Yeah, you can nick this. It's not looking good at all.
That's just part of their job. The Kenya Anti-Doping Agency, they need to work harder. That's it. Make all the strides and nip it in the bud before it explodes in the face. I mean, because I remember Russian situation started just like this, and before you knew it, the issues of systematic doping that eventually led to their ban, right? So we don't want Kenya to be.
We don't want Kenyan athletes to actually be at the Olympics, and they are Olympic athletes, but not Kenyan athletes.
Exactly, we don't want that. Okay. All right then.
All right, let's see. They should just see how they can work hard instead of just looking how to make money. It's all about the money, right?
Okay, let's move on with the show. Anyways, with Kenya and their problems for now. Let's talk about the two big events. It's happened over the weekend. Right here in Nigeria, we saw the Badminton Classics and we saw the Africa Track Cup Championship as well, too, which went down at the Abuja National Stadium. The velodrome, Nigeria came tops in that one, and it's fantastic. We talked about it yesterday as well, too, and we're seeing pictures coming from. It's so good to see the velodrome being put to use as well. When was the last time we saw picture like this.
I really can remember.
Exactly.
And that's why the president of Cycling Confederation Africa, talking about Dr. Mohamed Azam, is really proud of the fact that the inaugural edition was held in Nigeria and this velodrome was put to use. He was actually here when it was opened. And he feels it's too big for us to just live it.
It's massive.
Nothing is happening.
It is massive.
It's Olympic standard, and asking yourself, there's so many competitions going on when it comes to cycling, the UCI, the track, and so many others and everything. So how do you make use of this?
What about local cycling competitions?
Precisely.
It doesn't have to be the Africa Track Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, look at a few fans there as well, too. Cycling is not the most popular sport in the world, but if you start to sensitize Nigerians who generally love sports, I'm sure they'll come out and watch. The ladies there is having a good time as well, too. You see the young man as well came out to watch. The inaugural edition was a massive success. And let's take a listen to what the president has been saying, and that's Dr. Mohamed Azam.
The most important is not only the first edition of the African Cup, that we organize big event of Africa in the Velodrome of Abuja. I was here since 2003, establishment of this Velodrome. From 2003 until now, nothing. But now we create the new event to do it in Abuja. This number one, congratulations for the opening of the velodrome to make a big event for Africa. Number two, I think the number of participation of countries, 9 countries to participate in the first edition of African Cup for track in Africa, it is good success. Number 3, also the number of events. If you look for the many number of events, the championships or the cup, we organize more than 35 events. It means that it is a very, very big event in Nigeria.
That's Dr. Mohamed Azam there, speaking, waxing lyrical about how the first edition of the Africa Track Cup was a major success right here in Nigeria, of course, and it was good to see Nigeria top the overall medals table as well. That's fantastic. I kept on thinking about it yesterday. Nigeria actually topped the medals table in a cycling competition.
Egypt, yes, ahead of Egypt.
Massive.
I mean, it should ring a bell. It should ring a bell.
That's big.
Yeah, it's big. It's huge. For Olympics,
All
that's
right.
what we're talking about.
Let's go and talk about this one that was dominated by the foreign badminton players. That's the Lagos International Badminton Classics went down. Nigeria didn't end the competition. Without a medal, they won bronze in the men's doubles event. But overall, it was the Vietnamese that won the male single as well. Another foreign player winning the women's singles as well, too. And these guys, I'm sure, have had a fantastic time coming to Nigeria.
Absolutely. They obviously did. And that's why we'll be listening to them this morning. How excited they were coming to Nigeria and also going away with all the money.
I think staying calm under pressure and bouncing back even though we lost the second set. Also, the entire trip, I feel the atmosphere has been very pleasant. The people here are very warm, and overall I think that gave us more energy to play better on court.
I wouldn't say it was probably the toughest tournament in the circuit, but it was fairly competitive. I think singles was really competitive this year. Doubles not the Europe level of competition, but still it wasn't easy. I think smaller things like better usage of court, the hotels could be a little more better. I feel the organization could take note of that. They could probably give better hotels, because if when you go abroad for other tournaments, you either get 3-star or 4-star hotels. I thought the accommodation wasn't that good, and the courts, which were very good last year, what my friends told. This year they struggled with the courts because it was slipping a lot, and if you would have seen a lot of matches in the past 3 years, a lot of players fell down and there was some chance of injury. So we would like that to be a little more better.
All right, we need to go on a break now. We'll come back, we'll be talking golf.